Alright, so this is going to be my Season 2 review of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And I have a lot to talk about today. Amazing season, extremely better than the first one by every possible stretch of the imagination. The characters were expanded on great. The villain was exponential. Like, everything about it was great. So the first thing that I'm just going to talk about is the main character, Jaden Yuki, or Judai Yuki, whatever you want to call him. He progressed really greatly this season. Like, I wouldn't say that it's a black and white difference from season 1, but he did progress and learn lessons from season 2, namely the biggest one, which was his defeat from Aster Phoenix, which was Jaden's biggest loss. Jaden's lost before, like previously to Zane, but the loss with Aster hurt him in multiple ways. The biggest factor that he wasn't able to see his cards, and the fact that Aster pretty much challenged everything Jaden stood for. Everything. Their ideologies clashed. Their decks even reflect this. The way they even battle, and the way they dress, the way they go about their lifestyles, everything was riding on that battle, and Jaden lost that. And the consequences of losing that was him being able to see his cards because of Saito's abilities, which led to Jaden going to the Neospatian planet and getting his Neospatians. And I know a lot of people would say that Neospatians, have no synergy with the hero deck. They're pretty bad. I think they're pretty good because Jaden has the great power of being able to choose any card that he wants because his luck is just that good. Like, this man can make any deck combination work because of his luck, which was expounded on in a filler episode 91, I think, where he went up against the Death God, some Reaper guy, and he was like, "Oh, it's Jaden, like, you can make any deck combo work because you're blessed by the god of luck. Meanwhile, I have to sell my soul to the devil, basically, so I can show everybody the deck that I made. We're not as lucky as you are," and I really did enjoy that. The second character that I really want to talk about, and my favorite character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX right now, is Aster Phoenix, or Ito Phoenix from the Japanese sub. This man was amazing. Like, he is literally the most amazing character I've ever seen in the whole entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. Everything about him is just mind-blowing. Everything from his backstory to his deck to his fights kept me on the edge of my seat every single time I saw him on screen. Aster literally appeared and he beat Jaden. I wouldn't say effortlessly, but he beat him pretty good. And seeing his motivation, like, people call Aster's motivation for why he didn't like Jaden cheap, but you have to understand that his father, literally died creating these D heroes for Aster, and Aster had this great significance behind why he duels and what he duels for. And to see Jaden, who uses heroes just like him, just not understanding their true value and their true worth in the same sense that Aster did, hurt Aster, and it hurt his pride, and hurt his father's pride in his eyes. And that's why I feel like his rage at Jaden was justified. People need to realize that. And when you get down to their first fight itself, it was, like I said before, a clash of ideologies in every sense of the word. Like, everything about Aster and Jaden was different. And everything was on the line in that battle. If Aster lost that battle, he would be proving that Jaden's ideologies, his happy attitude, carefree attitude, unprofessional lifestyle was superior in the way he treats his heroes were superior. And if Aster lost that, that'll also be proven that his elemental heroes were superior to his D heroes, the last thing that his father gave him before he was killed. Aster could not lose that battle. And that was also a battle that Jaden could not lose. Thankfully, Jaden did lose the battle because it ended up pushing Jaden to have character development that he needed. And when we go to their second battle, after Jaden gets the Neospatians, I feel like there's a sort of understanding between the two in their second battle that was not there in their first battle. Like, you can feel like that now that the two have some sort of healthy rivalry and have some sort of bond with each other. And I really enjoyed seeing that. He was literally asking Aster, oh, you're having fun in this duel. You're really enjoying yourself, you know? Like, I like this side of you more than the strict and professional pro duelist side of you. And seeing that was just amazing. I really liked that. And then we have, and that's not even the end of it. And then we have the drama with his adoptive father or his guardian. Oh my god, that battle is literally one of my favorite fights in GX. Like, is almost on the. I don't know if I would even say if it surpasses Zane versus Jaden, but god dang, it's pretty close because everything from the emotional drama of finding out that his adoptive father killed his actual father and he was manipulating him the whole entire time. And Ace had to come to realization with that was simply heartbreaking, especially when he showed him the dead soul of his father. You see, when I saw that, I always thought to be like, oh, he's going to show him his dead father and he's going to hold him hostage and be like, oh, if you kill me, you kill your father. But no, Acer actually took his father's words of advice, oh, kill me, let my soul rest in peace. Acer literally manned up and he basically killed his father. Well, didn't kill him, but more or less put his soul to rest. And that was amazing. You could literally see the tears dropping from Acer's eyes as he finishes his adoptive father off, which was simply amazing. All this time, Acer's true goal was his adoptive father. And it's ridiculous how literally after that, he goes on and fights his childhood friend, Saito. I'll talk about Saito in a little bit, but that fight was truly heartbreaking. I loved every minute of it, especially the part where Acer was like, I want to hold up the umbrella for you, Saito, just like you did for me all those years ago. I want you to rely on me like I've relied on you. And seeing Saito's good personality go to Acer and help him in that battle to fight his evil self was just amazing. I loved it. It was just great. It was just exponential. It was, words cannot describe how amazing it was to see when Acer cried that one tear and Saito was just with him, supporting him throughout that battle. And I don't care what anyone says, Acer should have beat Saito. Acer should have won. But he lost because Jaden has to beat the antagonist, and I'm not mad that he lost because it was such an amazing duel. Literally seeing Acer struggle to get on the ground, but Saito coming in and encouraging him to get back up and fight again was just amazing. I just loved it. Alright, next we're going to talk about the main antagonist of Season 2, Saito. I didn't expect Saito to be this good. I really didn't expect him to be this good. I thought he was going to be one of those throwaway villains that had a lame motivation, pretty much no character depth, pretty much no other sort of interesting factors about them, but I was wrong. One main thing I like about Saito so much is that he actually dueled. That's one of the things that a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh villains lack. It's I feel like they don't duel enough. A Yu-Gi-Oh villain should go out there and should force his dominance. They should give at least a good amount of duels before they get defeated by the main protagonist, because I already know that people like Zone from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds only fights one time and he loses that one time. And I don't like that. I've never liked that. I need to see them fight multiple times to get a true sense of why they're the main villain. And Saito definitely delivered on that. He fought the Prince, he fought Kenzan, he fought Acer, he fought Jaden. He fought a lot of people, and and it was amazing. He won all of them except for his fight with Jaden, of course. And then we get onto his actual motivations. Him being possessed by the light of destruction was great. I loved it because it caused him to have this split personality where we had this good Saito who feared himself with going to this path of destruction and blinding everything in light. And then we have this evil Saito who just wants to consume everything in light, lead everything to ruin. And seeing them both conflict and seeing them fight each other was just great. I loved it. I really enjoyed it because I thought Saito was just going to be this evil protagonist that wanted to destroy everything, but seeing how his good self and his evil self were split was just amazing. And his deck was bullshit though. I didn't like his deck. His deck could actually leave. It was just so dumb. That stupid gimmick of the card spins and you have to shadow it stop and its upright effect or its downward effect determines what effect it's going to get. Now that can honestly leave. You get messing with that. I didn't like that. I will admit that his powers to control Destiny were really interesting, and I love how much of a focus Destiny was in this season. I really did like that. So moving on from Saito, I would like to talk about Chaz. Chaz was shafted this season. He was shafted basically the majority of the season. He only had a real good redemption at pretty much the last couple of episodes in the Gen X tournament, and I didn't like that. Like Chaz, like he's not a rival to Jaden anymore because he doesn't even care about Jaden anymore. And he pretty much, at the very start of the season, gets brainwashed by Saito. And he becomes his henchman. I do not like that at all. Because he's not his own person anymore. All the character development in Season 1 is pretty much gone. And everything that we've known him for is just gone at this point. And I do not like that. I wish he would have fought Saito along with Jaden instead of Kenzen because Kenzen was a disappointment. But I'll get to Kenzen later. But I wish Chaz would have done more, man. Like in the very end in the season 2, right? The Gen X tournament was happening. The Gen X tournament, it's the tournament that Principal Shepard hosted, He was the champion of that, and I really do like how he was the champion and not Jaden, which actually surprised me. That surprised me a lot. Jaden didn't even participate, really. But the Gen X tournament itself was a disappointment. I'll get to that later. But one of the things I didn't like was that he pretty much walked in the Gen X tournament, pretty much won and beat everyone with no difficulty. And he beat Blair, or Ray, whatever you want to call her. He pretty much beats her. He's the tournament champion now. I didn't like that. I wish he would have struggled a lot more. Like, if he would have fought Zane, oh my, that would have been amazing. Like, I don't know why he didn't fight Zane. He should have fought Zane. He definitely should have fought Aster. But I already know he fights him in Season 4, so maybe they wanted to save that until then. And Aster was already too busy fighting Saito with Jaden anyway. So it is what it is. Moving on from Chaz, I like to talk about Alexis. As you all know, previously, I didn't like Alexis. She was just a boring character. Her deck was boring. Motivation was okay. The only reason I liked her motivation was because Atticus was such a great character in my opinion. I loved his deck. I loved his outfit. Loved his personality. But other than that, nothing about Alexis really stood out to me. And it's crazy because when she's possessed, when she gets beaten by Chaz, and she becomes brainwashed by Saito, I ironically found her to be more interesting when she was possessed than she is normally. Because when she was brainwashed, like, she had this sort of pride with her that I never really got the feeling of in Season 1, apart from a couple of times. Like, for example, when the Gen X tournament was happening and the Obelisk Blue Girls were fighting that random guy who was a pro duelist. Pro duelists really got shafted, man. We had literal top 10 pro duelists and they were all getting destroyed. It was crazy. But anyway, we had the pro duelists who were fighting the girls, and Alexis stepped in, and she was like, "Okay, so we can't let the pride of the blue get shafted. Like that's unacceptable. So I'm gonna duel you in my place." And I really enjoy seeing her pride that she held it over the blue. Despite her being brainwashed, she still kept some of her pride of obelisk blue, which I really liked. I don't even think Chaz kept his pride because he completely drew away everything that he built up in season one. But Alexis still kept that pride, and despite being brainwashed, and even showed when she dueled Jaden, how even though she was brainwashed, she still showed that fiery determination to beat Jaden. And her deck was honestly way better when she was brainwashed. I actually liked it very much. Like basically freezing Jaden's deck. That was really interesting. Like that was a really fun strategy. I wish she kept that deck because her Cyber Angel deck or whatever it's called is honestly boring and it isn't good. I don't find the strategies to be very effective at all. But that's all I'm going to leave for Alexis because other than being brainwashed by Saito, she doesn't do much and she's pretty much a cheerleader for the rest of the time. But now we get to move on to Show or Cyrus. Cyrus was great this season. As you all know in season 1 review, I liked him, but I love how they just built on this character so much more this season. Seeing him go up against his older brother Zane and the terrifying transformation that he went to and the courage he had to build up to face that, I loved it so much, man. Seeing this wimpy kid go up against his older brother and try to change him to the man that he once was instead of this this hungry victory bloodlusted man of a former shadow that he was. Like he really tried to revert Zane back, and I really did enjoy his efforts. I loved that so much, and it's such a shame that not only did he lose the duel, which makes sense because if he would have won, I would have complained about that. But not only did he lose the duel, he also failed to change Zane back, or in his words, did not reach Zane. And I think that's for the better, actually, because at least if you would have changed Zane at that moment, there would be nothing for them to really develop on season 3 and 4. And it also showed Zane's further fall into darkness, which I really did enjoy. And Cyrus actually did get into some duels. Like I actually enjoyed Cyrus's duels this season. Like now that I'm looking back on his duel with Kenson, his duel with Zane, and his duel with his double duel with Kenson on top of that tower. Now that I think about it, that double duel with Kenson on top of the tower was a great showing for Cyrus and Kenson. Like that's a great showing. But now we get into our next character and our new character to the cast, which is Kenson. Tyranno Kenson. I'm just going to call him Kenson because I don't know how to say Tyranno or however you say it. Alright, he's basically another version. He disappointed me, I'm not going to lie. Like I expected him to be like this great duelist, and then we have this one episode where Saito was like doing his he basically does like tarot cards, and he was doing the tarot cards right, and he flipped one over and like okay, and he predicted that Kenson was going to be a threat to him, and that was so hype. I was like, oh my god, Kenson is a threat to Saito, and when I saw Saito fight Kenson, I was so hyped for that duel, man. Like, I was actually hyped. I knew Kenson was going to lose, but I was still hyped for it. He does very badly in that duel, but he doesn't get brainwashed like everyone else did. And I was hoping that something else was going to happen. I thought in the tag team duel, he was going to do something there, but no, he lost that along with Show. I want to say I don't think he duels again against any named characters at least. And the only reason he was a threat to Saito in the first place because it was revealed at the end of season 2 that he's a spirit, like he can change into like the spirit dinosaur, and he destroyed the satellite that was going to burn the world down. And honestly, I was disappointed by that. I wanted to see him duel more. And his personality is, oh, I'm Cyrus. I like Jaden. Like, he's my big brother. I look up to him. That's all he is. Like, except for that, he's just more brash, loud, and confident. And Cyrus honestly is a better duelist than Kenzan. Because it actually showed, like in season 2, it actually showed how Cyrus kind of developed. And they even expanded from that further in season 3, but we'll get to season 3 later. His was just a disappointment, man. I just wish, I always felt like there was just something more from Kenzan. Something more, but we didn't get that, unfortunately. Alright, next, this will be the final character that I'm talking about, which is Zane. Zane was great this season. After Aster pretty much walked up in here, slapped him around, humiliated him in public, he went on this losing streak where he couldn't get a victory. And I know that feeling. I actually related heavily with that. That one big loss that just puts that losing mindset into you subconsciously that I can't win these battles. I keep taking L after L after L and I can't do anything about it. I know that feeling, man. It's seeing him just like, go to any means necessary to get his confidence back, doing in the underground arena, fighting against Hell Dog was great. His transformation, saying that he was hungering for victory, he doesn't care about what he has to do to get a victory, he'll do it, was great. And I love that he struggled in that duel, but as soon as he transformed into the Hell Kaiser, oh my god, this man obliterated Mad Dog. Like, he was actually fodder, and I loved it. That transformation scene will always be engraved into my head forever. And seeing how he dueled Atticus. I'm not going to talk about Atticus because his role in this season was relatively short. But he dueled Atticus, right? And that duel was great. Because before he duels Atticus, he duels Principal Shepard for the Cyber and Dark deck. I don't know if that's the actual name, but that's what I call it. Cyber and Dark deck. And he slaps around Principal Shepard, he gets the deck, and he tries it out against Fubuki, or Atticus. The deck's pretty trash, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be way better. The deck's actually pretty garbage. Like, it's so bad, in fact, that Cyrus was able to do decent against Zane. That's how bad it is. Like, he honestly should have kept his regular Cyber Dragon deck. It's just so bad. But it doesn't matter because the symbolism of him just like going into these dark roots. And Atticus, on the other hand, who says, I'm going to use the power of darkness that possessed me in season 1. We're going to go in darkness together and I'm going to pull you out of that. And that meant a lot to me. Because it just shows how far Atticus is willing to go for his friend. And then at the very end of the duel, where the darkness just completely overtook Atticus, and then, you see, at this point, I thought Zane didn't care about anything, and so did everyone else in the cast. But then when Atticus was just in complete darkness, he couldn't see anything, he just heard that voice that said, let go of my friend. Like, let go of my friend. And Atticus was like, bro, you actually do care. And he was like, why are you doing this? And Zane was just like, I just need victory. I just need it. I don't know why he just disrespected Atticus immediately after that, but it just still shows that respectful nature of Zane, while it's buried underneath all of that darkness, is still in there somewhere. He's not going to let his other friends fall into the same darkness that he is in, and I love that. Moving on to the Gen X tournament. The Gen X tournament was honestly a disappointment. I was so hyped for this tournament. We had literally Zane entering the tournament. We had Aster in the tournament. Jaden. We literally had everybody in this tournament. We didn't get nothing, man. You see, what makes me mad is that we had so many teases of who was going to fight who. Like literally, like Kenzen was complaining to Aster about, oh, you're trash, Aster, and Aster was like, all right, bet, say no more. You want a duel? And Kenzen cooked down. I was just like, what? What? When does Kenzen ever cook down to somebody? This man should have said, yeah, let's duel right now. But no, he cooked down, and Aster walked away, and I was just like, okay, that was weird. And then before Zane fights Show or Cyrus, he's literally talking to Aster, and I was just like, oh my god, it's about to be a rematch between Aster and Zane. I honestly cannot believe this. I am about to just literally scream in joy because I cannot wait to see this matchup. And then Cyrus walks up in here and he's like, yeah, don't do a Aster, do a me. And I was just like, Cyrus, I love you and I love this character moment, but you honestly need to get out of here. I'm trying to see these two duel. And Aster's just like, oh, we're pro duelists. We can duel anytime we want. So I'll be catching you later, Zane. And I was just like, what? No! You're obviously scared of him, Aster. Like, you're obviously scared of him. That's why you tried to show us an excuse to get out of there. You know you're about to get clapped. I love Aster to death, but you're about to get clapped, man. And he knew it too. And what makes me even madder is that those two never duel ever again. I looked on the wiki and I looked on Reddit. Those Aster and Zane never get the rematch that they should have got. And it's honestly just disappointing. That was a duel that should have happened in a Gen X tournament. A lot of duels should have happened in a Gen X tournament. Zane versus Jaden. We should have got Kenzen versus Aster. Chaz versus Zane. And I love how Zane leaves the island like there's no other duelist worth. There's no duelist on this island that's worth anything. And I was just like, why are you lying? You just don't want to get clapped by Jaden. Because you know your deck sucks. And you know Aster will whoop you too. I don't care if I just said that Aster will lose to Zane. Aster will whoop Zane. Talking about there's no other worthy duelist on this island. I don't know who you're talking about. You about to get clapped. Anyway. The other thing, alright, so now we got about the characters in the Gen X tournament. One of the things that really brought down this season was the filler.
Ron, make sure you wash your hair. Now you're gonna come in here and straighten up your bed.
One of the things that really brought down this season was just the filler. And it was just... The plot was amazing. Whenever the series was on track, the plot was amazing. 10 out of 10. Well, I wouldn't say 10 out of 10, but it was just great. I loved it. But then we have these random filler episodes. Like I didn't bring this up into my season 1 review, which I should have done. But we just have these random filler episodes that just come in out of nowhere. Like, for example, after they get back from Domino City, and Saito, like, I was real hyped for it because Saito was just like, okay, so which one's going to affect my fate the most, Jaden or Aster? And he's like having this old evil monologue and like the credits roll. I was just like, this is so hype. Next episode is going to be something hype. And then they're doing a doll that came to life, which had no relevance to the story. Why would they do that? I don't understand. And then we have this one episode where some Death Shimigami is like sold his soul to a card. Like he sold his soul to a card just so he can get good drawing power. I actually liked that episode. I actually rewatched that episode because of how much I liked it. But it had no real reason to be in the plot. I don't understand why Chaz couldn't duel him because Chaz actually had somewhat of a connection to him. He knew how dangerous the card was. And he knew the rooms over from the North School because Chaz was at the North School for a time. And you see, I'm glad that Season 2 doesn't do this as much as Season 1, but Jaden still duels too much in my opinion. Some of that filler should have been to the other characters. You see, this is why I'm glad that when Jaden got destroyed by Aster and he couldn't see his cards, actually he was actually out of the plot. That was the writer's way of getting him out of the plot, which I actually did like, because not only did we get to see the other characters duel, they also got many character development, like the Kenzin versus Cyrus duel. So I give him props to that, but as soon as he came back, it was the Jaden show again. And I feel like that should not happen. Like, please give the other cast some duels. Which won't happen, I don't think. I don't want to say anything for my season 3 review, but literally nobody in season 3 duels except they do it like one time. It's ridiculous. Like, Jaden needs to be stopped. Like, he actually needs to be stopped. Other than that, there's really nothing else I need to talk about regarding season 2. The light of destruction was honestly great, by the way. I love that. Like, it's a black hole, but reversed. Like it's going to destroy the universe, and only the gentle darkness can destroy it, which also foreshadowed season 3. God, I can't wait to do my season 3 review. So, yeah, I feel like the light of destruction was expanded on really well. Really well. But other than that, Principal Shepard was being a bad principal like usual. Kronos, I enjoyed Dr. Kronos or Crowler's further character development in season 2, just showing how he does in fact care about the Red Dorm, and he does in fact care about keeping it safe from Principal Napoleon. Great little character development for Professor Crowler. Fubuki was great for the little parts that he showed up for. Always a joy of a character to watch on screen. I think that's all. So, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about Bastion again, which is ridiculous. Okay, so Bastion, he was shafted too hard this season. It was so annoying how every single character constantly insulted him and ignored him every single time. The only time a character acknowledged him was when a battle was happening and Bastion would explain the card effect. And when Bastion didn't know a card effect, he was like, oh, I don't know this card effect because I've never even seen this card. Everyone would be like, oh, you're useless then. Like, get out of here. And I was like, shut up. Bastion would literally mop the floor with you, show. Don't you ever try to talk to Bastion like that ever again. Talking about some useless. And then we have the fact that he only dueled once. And we also have the fact that it wasn't a good duel, but he purposely lost the duel, so he could duel Saito. He never even gets to duel Saito, which he should have. And then after he gets into the Society of Light, he literally doesn't even show up except for a couple of seconds in an episode. And then, after Jaden fights the professor scientist guy, Bastion literally strips naked. He runs into the wilderness. We never see him again for season 2. Never. Nobody even mentions him. Nobody ever wonders, oh, why did Bastion strip naked, run across the school into the wilderness? Oh, we don't care, because he's useless. The disrespect these characters get is just absolutely ridiculous. But it is what it is. So that's going to be my Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 2 review. Like I said before, the duels were great, the monsters were great, the characters were overall great. Just a general improvement of season 1 in every possible way. The only thing I didn't like was the filler, Bastion getting shafted, Chaz getting shafted. And I think that's all. So I'm just going to go ahead and say sayonara, and I'll catch you guys later. Adios.